Here we are.
Again. Dad, they say this is a no-fish sea.
Well, we'll find out about it one day. There are invisible fish here. Dark fish.
Dark fish? Oh boy. We've come here for the invisible fish for many years now. I still haven't seen any.
We will see them someday.
Invisible fish, huh?
Invisible fish. You can feel their presence.
We've all heard about the black swan, a metaphor for the impossible, the unexpected, the thing that changes everything. For 1,000 years, Europeans believed all swans were white. Every specimen confirmed the same truth: swans are white. Then, in 1697, someone saw a black swan in Australia. One single observation, and 1,000 years of certainty just obliterated. Now, it's happening again. 3I Atlas, an interstellar object, arrived in 2025. It is not just a space rock. It is the message. The one that will change how humanity understands the cosmos. For decades, we've had one simple picture of comets. They're dirty snowballs, mixtures of ice and dust, left over from the formation of their star systems. When they get close to a star, the ice evaporates. Jets spray out, pushing the comet around like tiny rocket engines. It's a simple model. It works for every comet we've seen in our own solar system. But 3I Atlas is the breaking point. The official answers always sound plausible. An active comet from another star, behaving as expected. But they couldn't be more wrong. Just to name a few. 3I behaves like a car speeding up with the engine off. And its leading jet points forward. Critically, it passed the sun intact. If 3I Atlas was a comet, the sun's heat should have torn it apart with explosive outgassing. It didn't. Outgassing is a phantom. If it was an asteroid, the sun's tidal forces should have cracked it like an egg. They didn't. Every conventional category predicted its destruction. Its survival is not just unusual, it's diagnostic. So far, 3I Atlas has single-handedly devastated every cometary model we have. They just can't explain it, not without parameters. Not without modern epicycles that would make Ptolemy blush. Sublimation, exotic ices, a fine-tuned composition. Each time, the fix was the same: invent something inside the object to explain the anomaly outside. When every new anomaly demands a brand new exception, the model stops explaining reality. It just survives by never being falsifiable. They are just playing cosmic whack-a-mole. Confronted with motion but no mover, the model could only salvage its equations by inventing a persistent sideways push, labeled A3. For over 4 months, across solution after solution, JPL has been measuring A3. And they found something that didn't just challenge their model, it shattered it. In physics, sigma measures certainty. 5 sigma is the gold standard for discovery. A3, the helical signature of 3I, went from 24 to 38.5 sigma in less than a month. That's not a discovery. That's the universe tapping us on the shoulder. Hard. A3 is unequivocally the signature of the helix. They measured it, but they don't know what they're looking at. So they call it wobbles, noise, perturbations, anything but what it is. Here's the real problem. They've been trying to fit a 3D trajectory into a 2D model. Imagine you're looking at a spiral from the side. What do you see? A wave, up and down, wobbles. Now imagine trying to describe that wave with a model that only allows straight lines. You'd need more and more parameters to force those ups and downs into a shape it was never meant to be. That's what they've been doing to 3i. They're looking at a helix from the side.
No, it's an ellipse. You're both wrong.
We inherited this dimensional blindness from giants of the past. They didn't have the tools to see the third dimension, so they called it ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, each fumbling an elephant with eyes blindfolded. Even the greatest among them worked within a framework that couldn't see what we're seeing now. Their models all work within their local geometric domains. They work until they don't, because they saw the face in the mirror with precision. They saw the helix from the side, the cross-section, called it a wave, a curve, and built equations for the fragment of the spiral. They never saw the spiral in motion. They just flattened it. A century later, we still do the same. Still describe the slice. Perihelion precession of Mercury. Gravitational waves. Frame dragging. Lens effects. Each a 2D cross-section of the 3D helix. Celebrated as confirmation of general relativity in its conceptual 4D spacetime. LIGO measured the spiral. LIGO won the Nobel. They had the tool that showed them the depth, but they chose to follow the flat equations. GR's beautiful math built a 4D spacetime. 3 dimensions of space, 1 of time. But their 3 dimensions don't have a z-axis. They never asked, what if the wave is a cross-section? What if the cosmos has depth? The z-axis? It was always there. More on that in another episode. Remember the black swan? One observation was enough to overturn 1,000 years of certainty. JWST and the Keck telescopes found 3i's bones. Iron, nickel, a solid metal core. Not ice, metal. Ice is an insulator. Metal is a conductor. That difference changes everything. When a conductor moves through a magnetic field, it experiences drag, like this magnet falling through a copper pipe. It's not being pushed by anything. It's interacting with the field itself. As below, so above. But here's something we never imagined. Not Newton, not Einstein, none of them ever imagined it. The sun is not just a ball of gas, it's a ball of metal. At its core, hydrogen crushed so hard it becomes metal, liquid metal. The sun itself is a magnet, a gigantic, spinning magnet, conducting, spinning, generating the largest magnetic field in the solar system. Earth? Solid iron at the center, liquid iron swirling around it. A planet-sized magnet. Jupiter? Metallic hydrogen, spinning at 9 hours 55 minutes, whipping a magnetic field that stretches past Saturn. And Mercury's core is 85% iron. In fact, every planet in the solar system has metal at its heart. Every rotating body with a metallic core is a magnet. Every cosmic magnet spins. Every spinning magnet generates a field. We live in a solar system of magnets. We just never put it all together. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine an ant on a table. In front of it, some magnets, strong ones. That ant crawls among them, curious, but it feels nothing because it is not an inductor. Then another ant crawls along and tells that ant, the magnets are negligible. We are that ant, living and breathing on a giant magnetic orb. We've been measuring a little magnetic sphere here and there, but never asked where they come from or what they are. Because we don't feel it. Just a technical jargon. Just a chapter in the textbook. As for all the metallic objects on Earth, they don't feel magnetized because they're all within Earth's magnetic sphere. Once outside of it, technology has to account for it. Juno has a 200-kilogram titanium vault just to survive Jupiter's magnetic field. GPS satellites have to adjust their orbits for Earth's magnetic field drag. Voyager carried magnetometers all the way to interstellar space, not because the field is negligible, but because it's real. Engineers don't design for negligible. They design for what's there. So next time when you hear someone say the field is negligible, they are that other ant, living with the frog at the bottom of the well. The magnetic fields have always been there. A pull here, a push there. That is how we describe it. And we called it gravity. We called it curvature. It was the only word we had, the only face in the mirror we saw. We never asked, what happens when one magnet moves past another? Because general relativity is too beautiful to add messy magnetism. We chose mathematical perfection over reality. And we dared to call reality imperfect because it didn't fit. Well, the cosmic magnets simply don't give a fudge factor about our formalism. They exist, they spin, they interact. And 3i Atlas just proved it. The fact is, the sun's magnetic field reaches out for billions of kilometers. This is the Parker spiral. Every interplanetary spacecraft has measured it. It's not a theory. It's the structure of the space we live in. Yet somehow, they emptied space just to make their equations work. They called it a vacuum, a void. This is the mindset of the other ant on the back of the well frog.
Get off my pretty face, you busy for nothing ass!
What the? What?
A copper wire near a magnet does nothing. Spin it, it generates power. To call this negligible is to claim that wire in a generator is unaffected by the magnet simply because it's solid. General relativity gave us a beautiful description of gravity, but it doesn't know what gravity is. It described the curvature of space, but not what fills it, not what curves it. To question this is not to disrespect Einstein, it is to honor what science has always done. Copernicus questioned a cosmos that seemed perfect. Galileo questioned a church that seemed infallible. Wegener questioned a map that seemed fixed. Each was dismissed. Each was mocked. Each was right. Science is not a century of inertia. It is not sweeping tensions under the rug. For 100 years, physics has been adding undetectable things to make its equations work. Invisible. Unfalsifiable. Things that would make Ptolemy jealous.
Dark epicycles.
One bold prediction we can make here. that 95% invisible dark forces will remain undetectable for as long as the stars still shine. Now, with all the cutting-edge technology in our hands, we have no excuse not to see. The universe is full of magnets, spinning magnets, and magnets interact. Jupiter is the second largest magnet in the solar system. Its field extends for millions of kilometers. 3I Atlas, a tiny magnet, was interacting with that field, not falling toward Jupiter, but banking, like an airplane making a turn. In 2D, that bank looks like a slowdown. That's why the models are confused. In 3D, it's actually gaining perpendicular speed, exactly what the data show. The Sun and Jupiter have been spinning for billions of years. Their gyromagnetic fields have found a point of equilibrium. They call it L1. Last December, we predicted that 3I Atlas would cross it. It was a test. Gravity's last chance to slow it down. On March 4th, it passed through the L1 gateway. This is the evidence. Coma expansion, leftward drift, are A3 in real time. Methanol and carbonyl. 3I is not sharing cocktails up there. Not space drunk. Its molecules are awakened by the field. 3I Atlas was in reciprocity with the Jovian gyromagnetic fieldscape. For 1I Oumuamua, they imagined a hidden magical iceberg. For 2I Borisov, they called it a chemical fluke. But 3I Atlas, they are stuttered into silence. A comet at L1 must slow down. It must vent. It must tumble. 3I did none of these. The cometary model is not wrong. It's just the wrong hammer. And 3I was never its nail. Well, 3I Atlas an alien mothership? Let's be clear. An intelligent craft wouldn't waste energy firing jets towards the sun. It wouldn't cling to gravitational lanes carved by nature. And if it were masquerading as a rock, it wouldn't announce itself with precision-aligned jets and a trajectory that looks guided. 3I Atlas is not a dirty snowball, not a weird comet. It is a TEO, a torque-entrained interstellar object. A metal-rich core, not ice. Jets shooting in multiple directions. Chemical fingerprints, never seen before. An acceleration that follows hidden pathways, not random jets. And it survived its closest pass to the sun, intact. They still call it a comet because it has a tail. They call it a rock because it moves. When all they have is a sublimation hammer, everything simply looks like a dirty snowball nail. 3I Atlas is a coherent spinner, caught in the sun's great torque, a tiny spinner in reciprocity with much larger spinners. So where did 3I come from? They say here, there, somewhere. Last year, our published framework traced it back, unwinding its helical path. It points to the ongoing Sagittarius merger, a galactic forge spinning since before our sun was born. That's where 3I Atlas was made. That's where Oumuamua and Borisov were made. And that's where the WOW signal came from. Now others started writing about the same thing. They just forget to mention where they read it first. 3I Atlas is a new physics. It's surfing a hidden current. We call it the gyromagnetic fieldscape, a supermassive field with supermassive planetary magnets. And the entire heliosphere is a supermassive magnetic system. A layer of reality that Ptolemy and Newton never had the tools to see. But Einstein? By 1906, scientists knew Earth had an iron core. By the 1920s, they suspected the sun's core was metallic. By the 1950s, they knew Jupiter's metallic hydrogen. So Einstein knew. He had the pieces. He just never put them together. Neither did anyone else. Centuries of physics, or formalism rather, careers built on beautiful abstractions, and all those Nobel Prizes. Well, time to look up again. Time to recognize the cosmic magnets. And place physics first. 3i Atlas is giving us a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see the light that cast the face in the mirror. On March 19th, 3i was here. 24 hours later, it had moved left and climbed north. By March 21st, the leftward gap had grown. The northward climb had doubled. Then Saturn's field began to push and pull. By March 22nd, the drift had stabilized. A day later, the drift had slowed further. The climb was steady, the helix widening. This is the physical signature of the A3 helical requisite. For over a month, NASA went ostrich on 3i. So we measured the A3 ourselves. 2 independent sources, the Comet Observation Database and the Sky Live, gave the same result. The raw sigma exceeded 730 sigma. But to be absolutely certain, we applied the most conservative possible filter. The floor, 114 sigma. At 38.5 sigma, their own model was already a black swan. Over 100 sigma? The sublimation hammer just completely sublimated itself. The whole world has the data. NASA saw it too, but they stopped releasing their orbital solutions to the public altogether. The actual telemetry shows a trajectory that defies ballistic gravity. If they release it, they have to admit the comet moved itself, and they cannot account for why 3i is in Gemini. The A3 is now the dominant driver. We published its governing equation in early 2026. It predicted the L1 crossing, and it predicted the sink-in at Jupiter. It projects the future. As 3i banks through Gemini, it is entering a braided region where Jupiter's gyromagnetic field yields to Saturn's. The helix spirals on, through Gemini, toward Cancer, then Leo. Each leg of the journey shaped by the fields it passes through. The z-axis is not a one-time event. It is the spiral in motion. And the missing dimension is the movement itself. Not time, not 11 more. 1,000 years of certainty, overturned by one black swan. 3i Atlas is that black swan for cosmology, and it is the cosmos spelling out its first law: spin dictates motion. Ever since 3i showed up, it has NASA spinning both the story and themselves. Some suspect they're covering up alien traces. Others think they're spinning to hide a physics they have no language for. But one thing is certain: the covert race should be starting very soon. The cutting-edge weapon of a new space race: the magnetic sail. Imagine a spacecraft that unfurls a magnetic field, an invisible sail, thousands of kilometers wide. As it approaches a planet, That field interacts with the planet's own magnetic field. The spacecraft doesn't burn fuel to slow down. It brakes, using the planet's field as a giant magnetic wall. This is not science fiction. This is what 3I Atlas has been doing for months. 33 billion tons of nickel, a bulk conductor, acting as the largest induction coil ever observed. March 16th came and went. Jupiter and 3I showed us the final proof. A 66 kilometers per second object, a 50,000 kilometers window, that's like hitting a bullseye from across the ocean. A statistical black swan, unless you predicted it 4 months earlier. We did. The Teo's ancient metallic core, aligned with the Jovian gyromagnetic fieldscape. 3I Atlas is the cosmos tapping us on the shoulder. Again. Toda, the lens that perceives reality from first principles, where gravity has a cause.
Have you seen any invisible fish up there?
Oh, give me a break. The only thing invisible is your mind.
So, what is up there?
Everything you weren't looking for.
Dad, there's no invisible fish. Or dark fish. It was all in your mind.